Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for joining me this Saturday night on Talking Sip Special. You know, um, this is the eighth, the ninth of the 11th, ninth of uh, November, straight into December. As we're getting there. I want to thank those who are joining me on Instagram, those who are joining me on TikTok, those who are joining me on Facebook, and those who are joining me on YouTube. I've sort of have all these different platforms there. Somebody was saying one time to me not to lose the Facebook because I was not sometimes going on Facebook too much, but the person said just keep the Facebook live, so I keep that link there. But those on TikTok, one of the things I like to say is that on TikTok, you're not going to see the faces of the guests. So it's best to go over onto YouTube. When you go onto YouTube, you're able to see that very effective at Silver TV, where you can watch that. But tonight, my discussion tonight is well, the flagship discussion tonight is going to be on the Jamaican Reggae Racers Shine for Jamaica. Jamaican Reggae Racers Shine for Jamaica, and I'll be having my guests tonight. Uh, but stock and sip goes over a couple hours, hour and a half or so. So I'll have them on the first bit, and the second bit we will touch base on with a couple other guests as to what's happening in Jamaica. There's elections pending in Jamaica, some by-elections, and also maybe to a quick reflection as to what happening in the USA with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, because of course, whatever happens in America affects the world. I mean, right now in the UK, we are seeing so many shakings which are happening already, and Donald Trump is not even, what should I say, inaugurated as yet. But we're seeing so many different, and I'm sure, of course, even in Jamaica and even in other parts of the world, so many things will be happening. So we'll have a sort of reactions to that later as well. And always ask persons, and I say to persons, if you're watching the show now, I have to ask you this question: what are you drinking? This is Talking Sip Saturday night, you know. And I made some juices earlier, like when you're in Jamaica, you're on the beach, or so you're in the hotel, and the guys them say, "What do you want?" So I say, "Make me this one." This one called "Make me this one." You know what I mean? I'm from Ocho, so they say, "Give me an Ocho special" or whatever like that when you're on the beach. So this is comprised of banana, orange, pears, apple, and some fruit berries and so like that, and blueberry as well. This is very crucial, as much as possible. And then during the course of the night, maybe I might have some canty, if anything like that. That's it. And always able to leave my sparkling water as well. So if anybody's tell me what you're drinking tonight as well. So that would be fantastic, and that would be great. So tell you what, let's start the show now. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. My name is Silver and Silla from the UK. Straight out to Jamaica, straight from Otrus at the same time. And, one of the fascinating things about Jamaica is that Jamaica comprise of so many different nationals. And when I say nationals, I mean comprise, it says out of many one people, which is very powerful. And, I've got my guests who are coming on tonight. I call them the reggae racers. Jamaican reggae racers. That's what we call it. Jamaican reggae racers. Tommy Gore, and Senna Summerbell. Tommy Gore and Senna Summerbell. I had them on the show some time ago. I forget if it was early this year. Maybe Rosemary can remind me of well. And you see the breakthrough that they're doing in Germany, and they were with Audi, and now they're moving over to Porsche, and and great developments which is happening there, which I won't be able to say much, but they will come on and say that as well. So that is going to be a very powerful thing. The other thing also is the recent elections in the UK. In well, recent elections in the UK. That is something else. Yes, the recent elections in the UK. We had Kemi Badenoch for the Conservative Party. Kemi Badenoch, who is making some sort of storm right there. There she is, the first black woman to be leading the Conservative Party. There she's at her cabinet meeting. She won from Robert Henrique of recent days, and there she's at their shadow cabinet, and she's creating a storm. There's many debate about Kemi. Is she good enough for black people or so? But I always say to people all the while that Kemi Badenoch did not um, apply to be the leader or run to be the leader of the Conservative Party, to be the voice for black people, which is fun. This is one of the realities that it was like Barack Obama when he ran for the president of America. He didn't run to be the president of Black America. He went to be the president of the United States of America, and therefore Kemi also is running to be the possibly the next could be the first black woman prime minister running for the for the UK, and that is something as well. And of course, we saw the recent elections in America with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, Jamaican lady, Jamaican background, and Donald Trump. I think the figures now is at 301 or so to 226 electoral college. That is creating so much of a storm. I saw one of the UK leading presenter was swearing um, on air, and as a result of that, our co-host had to ask her to stop swearing because many people are having breakdown. And one of the things I was doing when I was walking in the park um, the other day, and I was just imagining and seeing all the leaves on the ground, and it was so cool seeing the leaves on the ground, and the leaves fall on the ground because it's autumn, and they're very beautiful and lovely. I don't have any pictures here now, but it's on my Instagram page, and it's like dropping off all the heavy load, all the heavy weights, all the weights dropping off of you, and then guess what? In the next few months or so, then it's gonna be spring, and then it's going to be newness and newness. And I want to say, just like what Biden said, is that just because your neighbors are so said somewhere else or someone else, that doesn't mean to say that you got to have a go with them. It's an opportune time to work together as much as possible. So yeah, so that's a thing there in regards to the elections in America, and I'm sure we'll have some reactions about that later. But then again, in Jamaica, we're having some, which I get to understand. I mean, I've not been talking so much about Jamaica because this whole integrity commission and everything. Like, just give Jamaica a break now, let it outwork itself. But there's going to be some by-elections there, and in a couple of places, one for Nigel Clark and one for the other lady, Speaker of the House. She's back again, and I find it very interesting. I do find it very interesting that she's back again as the to run to be a member of parliament. But she stepped down because of some issues, and I don't believe that issue has been resolved. I always say that what if an election is called today in Jamaica? Will all the persons who are being investigated for maybe illicit enrichment, are they going to be putting themselves forward again? Is there some sort of standard of code or some code of conduct whereby they need to go through, even though nothing stops anyone? I mean, Donald Trump is a felon, you know. But it's like there need to be some sort of some sort of guard which can actually bring people in who are clean or so. So therefore, you could have an election call, and then you got 8 persons or so, or 7 more persons who are being investigated for illicit enrichment, and then they also will put themselves forward. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't look right at the same time, but legally it is okay. So with the Speaker of the House putting herself forward, and nothing really has changed. But hey, you know, there's so much power in the hands of the prime minister, if anything, and there's such a need for something which, Rosemary, we always talk about is constitutional reform. constitutional reform that addresses these things, constitutional reform that addresses issues of recall, constitutional reform that deal with time limits and all those sort of things, term limits. So there's a lot of things that need to be dealt with. But for tonight, let's not get into there. Let me just bring in Rosemary Francis Binder. Rosemary, how are you doing tonight?
Hello, Silborn. How are you? I'm doing good.
Yeah. Sorry, I put you on blast there. Oh, you're drinking. What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
I'm doing very healthy tonight. I'm drinking milk.
You're drinking milk. Oh my
And there's
God.
no rum in it or anything like that.
And you're drinking milk in a wine glass. That's awesome.
I'm drinking because I'm trying to show the health values of milk tonight.
And
People at my age need all the milk they can get for strong bones.
And swirl it, swirl the milk,
So I'm swirling it. It's going on. It's fine. Yes. And I take
that's very awesome. Good evening, James FLA. Good evening, Stephen Gunter from Kingston, Jamaica, and good evening, Michelle as well. Oh, that's awesome. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for organizing this. I must say, because you seem to be one of the super fans for the gentleman, because it was through you actually that we made that initial connection. As well. What's your take on it, Rosemary?
Well, I got involved with the gentlemen at the very beginning due to their sponsorship through the Jamaica Tourist Board. Naturally, having spent some time with them and attending their races and getting to see, the behind the scenes aspect of things. And for me, it's seeing this incredible family that surrounds the boys and trying to make sure that they get to, try to achieve their best with all this support from their family. That really drew me into them. And more than anything else, Tommi and Senna are two great examples of what my grandmother would say are perfect gentlemen, children that had good brought up, see. Well,
I thought you said brought up, and then I hope she said brought up.
No,
yeah,
brought up. Yes, my grandmother would say these two, the examples of what we, instill in our children. I remember the first time I met Tommi at his test race, and his father, and I was so floored by just, his mannerism, the respect that he showed, and it seemed to come so easy. And that's a very big part of being Jamaican. It's such a very great part of how we are brought up. So I've fallen in love with the boys, actually, taking them on as my own and their families too.
Fantastic. Well, I, without further ado, I'm going to bring on the gentleman. I bring on Tommi. Hey,
how you doing?
Tommi, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah,
all right.
Hi, Rose. How you doing?
Hi.
Good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I like that. Let me bring on Senna. Hey.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Good evening. And I saw a gentleman in the background there.
Yes, that.
Good David.
You can hear the dog in the background. Let me fix that. Good Jamaican background.
Good Jamaican background. Well, let me just bring on as well, Mr. Dog Gore. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, Silborn. Thank you for having us. This is fantastic.
Yes.
As we say, straight across from the pond, right?
Straight across from the pond. I don't want to just say, Miss Ochi, Miss straight at Ochi. Just think of me straight from Ochi, straight in a yard.
Lovely.
Yeah. Can I just ask?
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, can I just ask what you guys are drinking, if you're drinking anything?
Water.
You're drinking water.
Red
Stripe beer. Yeah.
I just finished a Smirnoff Ice because I just came off of the golf course. So.
Okay. Well, I think the last time we were having this interview, you guys were about to go to the race.
We were in Germany. We were there for our first race, I think.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you couldn't actually get in having a drink or anything like that, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
True.
But listen. I want to thank you guys for coming on tonight, and it's great having your fathers with you. But
Sure.
since the last time that you were on and you were with Audi, yeah, yeah. If you can just let me know like the developments from there,
Notice
and
that
I'm
we're in the red cap today.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so we joined another team out of Czechoslovakia, Safe Motorsport, and they were just not up to the level that we needed them to be at. They didn't have the commitment to us.
mm,
And then after that second race at Lausitzring, we decided, all right, we're done with this team. We ended up walking around the paddock, desperate to find somebody that would take us on for the rest of the year.
mm,
And the WS Motorsport Porsche team came to us and was like, "Hey, we'll take you guys on. We really believe in you guys. Let's see what we can make happen for the rest of the year." And since then, it's just been an amazing ride, and I think we're really excited to continue into 2025 with the same plan and to go for more podiums and wins.
yeah. Because I have some information on the dates for 2025, which we'll put that out later as well. And
Sure.
and Senna, yeah,
Yes, same exact what Tommy said. We were off to a rough start with the Audi team, and I mean we got very blessed to meet the team owner of this Porsche team called WNS Motorsports, and we couldn't have expected more, and we ended up coming from pretty much last in the Audi, and by the end of the season we were on the podium. So it was an amazing experience with this new team and a lovely car to drive.
yeah. And you mentioned on the podium, which is there. That's you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Wicked.
That's it there. Awesome.
I
Can
think
I just yeah,
Tommy was
go on.
really I think Tommy was really nice. Apart initially, I think we learned after that the Jamaicans were kind of, everybody was kind of laughing at the Jamaicans being there. They didn't really belong, and these boys have turned that around. They're getting offers from competitive teams to join them after the last couple of rounds. So. It was amazing that Tommy really went out and dug into all the teams, and we got to a couple, and WNS was an awesome choice, and the whole family got involved, and I think in the end,
Yeah,
for sure, we're on the right team, and to change those results and end up on the podium, I mean, that's not done. They understate what they've achieved, because the other teams explained to us this is just unheard of. You don't come in your first set of races in Germany and finish in the top 5, much less get on the podium. So
yes,
it's a big, it's a big achievement, and it has paid off in terms of, as I said, they've been getting other offers coming in, which is awesome, and you turn the heads from them, being a little laughter, the joke of the racing to now everybody wants, thinks they have they have what it takes to win. So. They've really done well
yeah.
from that side.
Let's go into a little bit of the history. Let's go with Dog, Sir Gore. You know the what it says, many time national champion Doug Gore threatens to drive away from local motor racing. Sorry, I'm just going into looking at some research I did. Anytime national champion and 3-time Caribbean motor racing champion Doug Gore said he'll be stepping away from local motor racing. I guess you'll step away to drop it into to Tommy.
Well, that was something that had happened throughout the year, and some racist remarks were being made, and I really
Yeah,
didn't care for it. So
yeah,
I stood up for my beliefs, and that's
mm,
all over and done with. The person was issued a 6-month sanction that he couldn't race. He had
yes,
to go and do some community service.
mm,
And, it all panned out, and it was the right thing to do at the time.
yes,
I'm racing back again, and I'm still winning. So until I become an also ran, I will continue to get into the car and still go out and have some fun. But a lot of my focus has been on Tommy and Senna this year.
mm,
David and I have been traveling back and forth to Germany and watching these youngsters take on the world, basically, because these guys that they're racing against are literally champions in their own right from every part of the world. And it is the first time that anybody from the Caribbean has ever been on the podium on the series ever.
Yes.
And that's just a testament to these youngsters that they have what it takes. And as David rightfully said, is that it just became something that just everybody was just wowed. And
Yeah.
Tommi even coming out of the car in the last race with Senna and coining the phrase "Jamaica to the world."
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
That was
Okay.
absolutely awesome. Yeah. So, and then the announcer replayed it back, and 95,000 people in the stands are listening. And
Yes.
this is their YouTube is across over 1 million people just listening. So JTB definitely got their money's worth. That's for sure.
Sure.
So,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
tell us about the bug that from early days with Dover. What it's like? I mean, tell us about the history there and the link into Tommy and the ride. Yes.
So when Tommy was about 5 years old, we put him in a go-kart, and I decided to see if he would love it. I mean, as a father, just like David and myself, we did not want to have to push our youngsters into, well, you have to be a race car driver. Now, Tommy's name, which is Tommi, was off of a four-time rally champion, Tommi Mäkinen, and then of course the Senna Summerbell. We all know who Senna is in F1. So
Yes.
yeah, the
No
fathers had a
pressure.
little push. They said, all right, we're gonna name them Tommy and Senna. Let us see if they can live up to their names, right? But
Yeah.
guess what? They have done so, and kudos to both of them.
Yes.
They're two fantastic young men, and as as Rosa can tell you that these guys have really come out strong, and they have been fantastic to say the least. And we have just enjoyed the ride. Let us just put it that way. And I think 2025 is going to be something else. One of
Yeah.
the things that I always said to Tommy, you get good grades at school, and Daddy will keep funding your racing career. Now, I didn't know
Yes.
that Tommy was going to be an honor roll student, so this has cost me a lot of money.
Well, there's a Kenneth Richardson that said, "Dog will only step away when he's old and grey, or until I beat him."
Yes, he's been
He's
trending
right.
that for years.
Don't worry, Kenny. I'll help you train up for the next
Oh,
one.
geez.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So let's go to our dad. Uh, what
David.
David. Yes,
Yeah.
get it right. My guide tonight is Rosemary. So yeah, David. So tell us about the whole historical bit with I think you guys were into competition, isn't it? You and Gore.
Yes, Doug is my
Just a
arch
bit.
rival.
Yeah.
For the last maybe 10 years or more, we've been competing, and more so at
More
Dover.
than 10.
Oh Lord, yes. Well, it's 30 years of racing, but
There you go.
it's been crazy, and it's been. I think it's probably been the biggest rivalry Jamaica has had in its history. The two of us have been going at it for a long time, and it could go either way. And created a lot of excitement and people around it. Both Doug and I are second generation. Doug's dad started, was a racer, and so similarly, my father, he loved it. He lived motorsport, and so
Yes.
you kind of born into it. And again, like Doug says, it's not that you're told you have to do it, but we chose to, and we found that it's something we're good at, and you do find motorsport to be a family sport. If you look around the world
Yeah.
and dresses, you'll see so many families at the bush, just goes down the line. So it has that aspect. It's also a sport that the more you put in, the more you get out. That's Rose and my mom. And Rose is amazing. Let me tell you, amazing person. Just miss Jamaica over and over. She, eats, sleeps, breathes Jamaica. The fabulous person. So we were blessed to have her in our corner in Germany. She turned everything around and made sure everybody knew we were 100% Jamaican. And she's turning Germany into Jamaica. But
Yes.
she's fantastic. So so the history, we've had a lot of battles, and it's so funny because no one would ever expect that the Summerbell and Gore would ever team up. It's the total opposite. We're never to see eye to eye, but the kids are amazing. They've grown up in karting together. Senna is a little older.
Yes.
And they've been good friends, and they saw the benefit of both of them teaming up. It was easy for them, to tell you the truth. I think it's been an easy and an excellent choice. They complement each other both on the track and off the track. So, a little of the history, it has gone well, even though Doug and I have had some serious rivalries.
I was going to ask a question between Tommi and Senna to say, did you guys ever say my father is faster than you?
I think every double.
They already knew. They had
They knew who it was. They knew it was. They didn't ask.
I would be spying on Uncle David's fit, running up there. Oh, does he have on new tires, whatever, and running back to Dad, telling him information.
It's true. Very true.
But tell us what has been the sort of support with the whole Jamaica camaraderie at the same time. What is the Jamaica what is that sort of support from Jamaica at the same time with you guys?
Well, I can tell you that everywhere I go now, you're in the supermarket, you're downtown, walking in the stores, and people are walking up and they're saying, "Boy, Doug, I just love what's going on, with Tommi and Senna. This is just fantastic." And the thought that is around just makes it feeling very humble to know that we are reaching out to so many people. And even today I was playing golf, and two of the guys that came up to me, and to be honest with you, I didn't even know that they watched motorsports, and they walked up to me and they said, "Boy, Mr. Gore, boy, things are going on, man, and we love what we see. And boy, I can't wait for next year for you, boy, then deal with them, We just want to deal with them." So, it's great to go and see that stuff. And again, as I said, 2025, I think is going to be a fantastic year for them.
Yes.
And Silborn, I hope you have on these young fellas 3-4 times next year.
Yes.
So
yes.
Sure.
And the whole effort is Jamaican. Our sponsors, it couldn't have happened without our sponsors. The S Hotel has been a major sponsor right off the bat, and they've helped us even as things, when things kind of went wrong, they stepped up and even made it better. Q8 oils, again, right from the start. These are Jamaican. They're Q8 is a international brand, but it's a Jamaican leg that's funding it and sending us over. Sandals, to see sandals on a car with an S is amazing.
Yes.
It's whatever it takes to get there. Tommi will tell you. Tommi.
Even we have Kenny. So the guy Kenny Richardson that replies from Sharon Williams, and he's been supporting, I think, Dad for the last 30 years, me for the last 4 or 5 years in cars. It's great.
They were our first sponsor.
The first ones.
Trust us.
We sent them the thing and they said immediately, yes, we're on board.
Yes.
So thank you to the Sharon Williams crew for tuning in. And of course, the JTB with Rose.
Yes.
Burrito Investments also came on later in the year, which is amazing. Sandals Resorts, S Hotels Jamaica, and Q8 Oils. I mean, those guys were the ones that made it possible this year, and we hope to continue next year with all of them and bring on some new bigger brands as well.
And the
to
Jamaica
be honest with you,
Simmer-
the more that the media gets involved, just like you,
Yes.
the further reach that we can get. And when we, I've always told people, they said, "Boy, Doug, how come you have this nickname named Hollywood?" And it was part of the show, the Doug and David show that we had for so many years. That when you wrote a proposal letter and you put it on somebody's desk, they're not going to just read it and say, "Boy, who is this John Brown?" and then they chuck it into the garbage. They were going to read that it was a Doug Gore or David Summerbell. And of course, we wanted the same for Tommi and Senna, that they would read it and they would continue reading it and then say, something, we've heard of these fellows, we've heard of these guys. And then they'll continue reading. And that is why, that's why we want to make sure, just like yourself in the media, that if you can help us publicize and you can get our names out there, it's just better off for us when we go to sponsors, So thank you very much. I want to tell you a big thank you.
Yeah, no problem. If we can just sort of go back now as to the Audi bit and the Porsche, because you move from Audi to Porsche. Is it that there are potential for higher change, if anything like that? How do you sort of make the changes? Yeah.
So, I mean, the only main difference for us between the two, I mean, the Audi vehicle wasn't bad. The Audi drove very well. I think it was a good platform. But the team on a whole was just not up to the level. I mean, the team around you makes the biggest difference, I think, both locally in Jamaican motorsports and when you go internationally, even more so. I mean, those guys are operating at a level that a lot of people can't even comprehend or think about. So the team made the biggest difference, I think. And then the only other bad thing about the Audi is they pulled out of motorsports to focus on their F1 push for
Yes.
2026. So that was a bit of an advantage changing manufacturers. But the Audi vehicle, the Audi was still good, but we're happy to jump in the Porsche and be comfortable
Mm.
right away with what the team changes that the team made, you know.
A big,
So pit stop there.
Sorry, I just was fascinated
Yeah,
by that
man.
video. Yeah.
a big joke was the first time. Oops, sorry. No, the first
Sorry.
time I was saying the first time Tommy actually was the first person when he joined this new team to go out and drive the Porsche for the first time. And I
Yes.
was a bit nervous, very nervous, praying to God it wasn't going to end up like Audi because we had doubts. Was it us? Was it the car? And I was nervous. I was looking at the stopwatch. And obviously it was the first time, so it wasn't going to be an amazing time. But Tommy pulled into the pits, and I was like, bro. And before I could even ask him how it was, he was like, Senna, this is completely different. This
This is
is
the best
this
thing.
is
Yeah,
amazing. So I just started laughing. I was like, jumped in the car. And yes, it was definitely amazing. The first couple laps, it was a dream to drive. Nothing like the Audi. We weren't scared. We were able to push the car, and just the confidence the whole team gives you, and
Mm.
knowing that the team has all the screws bolted in, everything 100% done right. You have a lot more confidence driving the car to its full potential, and that makes a difference. In F1, you can see the cars look the same. They probably are almost identical, but just the little stuff make the big difference.
Make a big
Like
difference.
between a Red Bull and between a Haas, like just the small details, and that's where the team comes into play. Those big teams who have a lot of expertise will always outperform the smaller teams who
So,
don't
so
have
the
that.
so go ahead, go ahead. Somebody was saying something. Yeah.
No,
So
I didn't want to interrupt. I just wanted to
yes,
say, if
go on.
I may,
Yes, please.
as someone watching from the outside, as it relates to the teams and watching not only, I want to say that the new team takes Senna and Tommy very seriously in terms of, their talent as drivers all of that. Senna just said, the new team sort of like, help to bring them to that new level. But even from body language, when you're looking, when I'm there and just observing and watching, even how the mechanics and the people there and the managers of the teams and just how the whole thing flows, then you realize that the boys are in better hands and they just have to just do their part.
Yes, yes, yes.
We focus on your driving rather than
Mm.
we're worrying if the tires are bolted
Exactly.
on correctly and if your door will shut or if
and
you'll
and
have
where
brakes at the end of the
yeah,
straightaway.
yeah.
But
And where do you see you? Where do, normally they say 5 years time? Where do you see you? Where do you guys see yourself? I mean, you don't have to tell your trade secrets now, still. But where do you
Well,
see yourself?
I can
What?
start to answer that. What
Yes.
happened is that Tommy had been doing well. We went to England and Tommy had won a race in the Radical Series. Senna also went and ran in Canada and he did well also and won there also.
Mm.
So it was David and I now talking and says, well, where do we go from here?
Yes.
And Tommy went to Hungary, I think it was Tommy.
yeah, hungry for
And
F4.
he went and jumped on the podium there. First time he had ever driven in a F4 car before. All of a sudden, the phone calls are now coming. Great aspirations to Tommy to get into a F1 car. And then after a while, now you realize that both Tommy and Senna are actually too old for F1, believe it or not. And
Really?
they're 22 and 19, and they're too old.
Yeah, I mean,
So
there are
it
new
was.
rookies in F1 that are 19, 18 years old,
Yeah.
so it's
Yes.
insane.
So you start to now say, okay, where's the end result? I mean, I just
Yes.
didn't want to walk around at the supermarket and somebody come and say, boy, I see your son racing in Germany. No, that
Mm.
wasn't the idea. It was the end game. Where is the end game? And it's something that Tommy and I have talked about since he was a little kid. I mean, all my kids, what is your end game? Where are we going with
Yes.
this? That
Yes.
is not just here to spend money. What's going to happen. And we looked at this particular series and we found that if they did well and they kept winning championships, that the ultimate ride now was to go and race for one of the manufacturers. They would now get a drive in a a Lamborghini, a Audi, a BMW, a Benz, Aston Martin, one of those cars, and they would now be a paid driver. And this is where we're going, and this is one of the reasons why we have to be very, very careful what we do next year, because a lot of eyes are on them, right? So
Yeah.
if we pick the right team, or we go with the right team, or we go with the right car, and they do well and they win a championship, then the phone calls will continue to go, and all of a sudden somebody will come to me and say, "Hey, I want Tommi to come and race for
Yes.
me, and I want Senna to come and race for me." So again, we had to find the end game, and I think we picked the right platform, because the ADAC that we're racing in is the ultimate in GT racing cars, like what you saw the
Yes.
picture there.
Mm.
And I would just also like to ask you, Silborn, what
Yes,
do you
sir.
think of the colors of the car?
Well, the colors of the car is awesome. I mean, because there it is there, shocking. I mean, the images, the pictures there. It is so colorful. It's like, what was it again?
The Jamaican flag.
Yeah.
No. That's racing, which was the guys. I mean, what was those guys?
The
Oh,
bobsled.
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings.
Yes,
Cool
yeah.
Runnings.
Don't
Yeah,
worry, they've been referred to that many times.
Yes.
Yeah, way
Yeah,
too many.
no matter where you're at, you see the Jamaican flag somewhere around.
Yes.
I mean, in the front of my house, I've got this big Jamaican flag. You know what I mean? Anybody that comes,
Nice.
in England, people have their British flag. I got my big Jamaican flag.
I love
Me
it.
too, me too.
but David, what's your take as well, following on from what Doug said as to the end game? Your
No, I
thoughts?
agree. I definitely agree with Doug, and this championship is where all the other champions are coming to. When the guys that Senna and Tommi are racing against, they are European champions, UK champions. They're coming from others, but this one means a lot. The German one seems to be the one to be in. You have guys that are racing with Alex Powell in F4 that want to go to Formula One and have come to Germany with us. And it so this is a stepping stone. And as Doug says, the goal is to be able to drive for a team, to drive for a manufacturer. And I think this is definitely the right steps to take. It can lead you there. We're in the right group of people in the right championship. So it is not an easy one because of the level of competition for sure. But that's how you know whether it makes sense or not. If you can do it here, you can do it anywhere, basically.
Yeah. I'm gonna go through that sponsorship list which I had there, that slide, and you guys can take me through it as well as the persons
Thank
want
you.
to do that. But I want to ask both of you gentlemen, young son, being on the podium and representing Jamaica, what is it feeling like?
It's an honor for sure. I think all of our life, everywhere we go, if it's outside of Jamaica, we're repping the flag. I mean, when Senna and I went to race in, say, Guyana, Trinidad, and Barbados, we're always repping Jamaica. But to go on such a high level on an international stage in Europe and let alone in Germany in such a competitive championship and still be at the front, top three, and podium against all these champions, I think just an honor for us, and really happy to represent the country on such a high level and bring Jamaica motorsports to that level and keep the limelight on us. I think it's amazing, and I see it just continuing in the same trajectory from here.
And likewise for Senna, what do you have to say, Senna?
No, like Tommi said, it's amazing. I mean, even just back here at the go-kart track, all the little kids are watching you. All the kids who want to step up and go into car racing. That they're all supporting you. They're all Jamaican, and it gives them something to look up to and something to know that the Jamaican platform of racing in karting at Dover. I mean, we got on the podium, and it gives them some hope that they can do it as well. So. It's awesome to just have the whole country, all the kids who are watching. I mean, sometimes it's a bit nervous. You have a lot of pressure on you from all the Jamaicans watching. But it's an honor to represent Jamaica for sure. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're doing it as a team, because both of us combined. I mean, it's a good showing for Jamaica, and yeah, it's lovely to represent them for sure.
Apart from which, they're fully homegrown, meaning these boys have raced here. It isn't that they lived away racing. They've grown up on our Palisades go-kart track and then migrated to Dover Raceways in St. Anne and ran at Jam West in the Grill. These are all us Jamaicans, and then they branch out a little and do karting in some of the Caribbean and beat up everybody down there, or
Yeah.
most people.
There's a beat of everybody.
Everybody is
So,
fair. I think everybody's fair. We've won in both all the countries. So.
yeah,
In all the countries.
Yeah.
And Silver, also for the Jamaicans in Germany and the German
Yes,
friends.
that picture there.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
so
the
that's-
German friends of Jamaica. I was not able to be there, unfortunately, at that podium. I was at a conference with German Jamaicans and a lot of Germans who are friends of Jamaica up in Königswinter, close to Bonn. And Max wrote me, because we were watching and wanting to know the results. And Max wrote and said, Mommy, they made podium. And as I got that message, and I'm so sorry, I was making a presentation and I made that announcement. Everybody bursted out into applause. And then they wanted, when the podium time came, I mean, they took a break to basically see it because it was being streamed. And I'm talking about how wonderful is that, you know? So there's so much. We are so proud of Tommi and Senna.
And Doug, what is it like, senior boy, big boys, on the stage?
I can tell you that I was in the stands amongst all of the people watching.
Yes.
And I jump up and say, yes, my boy, yes, my boy. And everybody's looking over.
Things.
I'll be like, what the hell is going on? And then somebody looks over and says, that's your kid? And I said, well, is Senna really across the finish line? But I said yes anyway.
All in the
And they're
family.
like, yeah, we're all in the family. And they're like, yeah. And, you know, I was running down because I wanted to be there when they popped the champagne. And I was now literally choking up inside. And I was just feeling what was feeling inside of me. And it's funny, I've had friends come to me and says, well, Doug, when you give up racing, you know, you're going to really enjoy watching your son go and do well. And and I'm saying, well, boy, you know, I still love racing, and you know, I still like doing it. But I must tell you, I was running down those steps and running across the entire pits area, running back to just greet them. And I tell you, that feeling that was inside of me was as if I had won the race myself, and it was quite awesome. And I hope
David,
to have that feeling many more in 2025.
Yes. And
No,
David,
he
But
hits
I
the
was
nail on the
David
head.
was with me in the pit.
Yeah, no. Doug hit the nail on the head. I promise you, it's incredible. It's much harder watching. I must tell you, as a parent, it's terrible. It's terrible. The emotions you go through, you feel it for them when something doesn't go right. But amazing. I mean, the feeling you get, it's a drug. It's a drug when you race. But now I'm realizing why people love to watch motor racing. There is
well, I can even give you a little story, Silver. On day 2, I had to rush off because I had to jump on a flight to go to Korea because I'm the honorary consul for Korea in Jamaica, right? So I'm in a Uber and I'm there talking to David on the phone, and he's like, well, you know, all right, so they're in 10th place. And he says, okay, boy, they got to 7th. And I said, all right. So I said, well, what do you think? And he says, well, boy, and I'm not sure. And then he calls me back. He says, boy, you know, 1 lap left, boy, it looks like it's going to be. And then all of a sudden I hear, oh, no. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, Tommy crash? He's like, no, we got in 5th place. And I'm like, no, so you're too lying. And he's like, yeah, man. I was like, what? So I'm sitting in the Uber, I can't stream it, but David has me on the phone. All right, yes, we get 5th. All right. So yeah, it's that kind of stuff for the parents. You know, we're sitting there just living the dream. Let's put it that way.
Well, I want to put this question to you guys. I normally promote these shows, and it's on TikTok. And the first comment, I'll say this because this is so very interesting. It's a teaching moment, actually, for persons who are trying to understand Jamaican. Which part of them is Jamaican? They couldn't find 2 years from West Coast to represent us. How do you address
It's not the
that?
first time we've heard it, but as many people know, the Jamaican motto is out of many one people.
As far as they can go back.
So somebody else in the background, but yeah,
I'll give you a little history on ours, and David can give you a little history on his. But my family on the Gore side came here in 1817 to grow tobacco. And on my mother's side, we were here from the late 1700s. So,
Yes.
and I think David's family goes back way, way, way back. And so,
Yes.
it's funny because when somebody says, "Oh, you're Jamaican," I can actually probably look at them and say, "I'm more Jamaican than you are."
Yes.
Yeah, and
So
I think both Senna and I born and grew up. I was born in Mobay. Senna was born in Kingston. I'm born and
Yes.
grew up in Jamaica. Go through the school system, live our whole life. Raised
not
in
all
Jamaica our whole
hospital,
life.
That's
not
all.
all hospital.
Yeah,
My mother
And
was Miss Jamaica 1965. There you go.
Yes.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
what's her name?
That's right.
Sorry, I need my
Carol
history now.
McFarlane at the time.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. Yes.
so
David, you were saying?
same thing that my
Yeah.
mom and my papa, them both come from Jamaica, and the grandparents all the way down.
Yes.
So yes, 100%. But the sweetest one for me is when I saw something like that posted, and other people answered from the racing. Them people
Yes.
who asked that question, them not Jamaican, because if them know any
Exactly.
racing, they know those two
Yeah.
names from ever. So you know that when you hear that, I laughed. I could have said this perfect answer. Obviously, that person not Jamaican or don't watch racing.
Yeah.
I don't watch motor
It,
racing.
it is a very interesting thing, because I mean, many years ago when I was studying and I was working at this place called Madame Tussauds. I don't know if you guys know Madame Tussauds in
That's
London,
right.
and I was the long
You were the
line.
wax man.
Uh, uh,
You were the wax
no,
man.
no, I wasn't, actually, sometimes you stand outside there and people touch you thinking you're a waxman. But listen, I was outside monitoring the queue. I'll be honest with you, this is so straight. And I just heard this sound behind me. How much you going there, some man? And I
Mhm.
look behind me.
You know immediately.
I look for a black
Yeah,
guy. You
yeah.
know what I mean? How much you going there, some man? There's a very distinguished white guy in front of me, and he's a QC. And actually, he went to school with Manley, and and it just shows something that people sometimes don't understand about Jamaican is that once you start to talk and relate, you don't see
Yes,
no
yeah.
more colors. You just
Yes, it's
you know,
true. It's
in
true. It's
school
true.
they just go through like that, and so I had to say to the person, "Are you really sure? Tune in tonight and watch."
Awesome.
You know?
That's why our motto is out of many one people, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
Yes,
That's
Yeah.
what I
yes.
keep telling everybody.
yes,
Yep. Yeah,
yes.
And,
Other
and
men
absolutely.
want
it's a
people.
great teaching moment. It's a great
Yes,
teaching moment, even especially when you have the opportunity, like even when people used to come by and want to find out, oh, the drivers are really from Jamaica. And
mm,
then, you could, it really is a great time for you to say yes. And we're very proud to be out of many one. And sometimes people are even, I'll use myself as an example.
mm,
My mother is an Indian,
yes,
and then people will go like, Indian from India? And then it's a teaching moment to say yes,
yes.
and they came at this time and so on. So yeah.
And we're
I
very
want,
proud of
go on,
it.
go on. Keep talking. Yeah, I want to go through the this, if you don't mind, the sponsorship sort of
Yes.
proposal here, which is very interesting. But before we do that, what is your request or so to persons in the diaspora in supporting yourselves? You know,
I mean,
what
Tune into any of our socials. I think we've had a lot of engagement this year, which we're really grateful for. Over 1.7 million impressions on our Instagrams combined. I think that's amazing. I never even thought that was possible
mm,
yet last year. But then looking at for next year, I mean, engage with us, Tommi Gore, Senna Summerbell on Instagram, Gore Summerbell Racing on YouTube,
yes,
and you guys will get all the content first. I mean, we should have
I
some
mean,
really good stuff coming out, and we have Senna and I have been brainstorming some ideas. Hopefully, give you some unique vlogs and some good behind the scenes like we did this year. So that's my
yes, yes,
biggest thing. And if you're in Germany or Europe, it's very cheap to book a flight. If you message us on Instagram, maybe we'll give you a ticket out of what we have in our in our bags. But it should be really good,
but
and just engage with us, and we'll be there for all of you.
yes, yes, yes.
Then
but
I think you have to have me running up a hill and falling down so you can get the other
Yes,
the, the
we
bigger
have it
views
on
like the first one.
on the YouTube.
Why, Doug? It seems like you're gonna start running against Usain Bolt because I peer running at
well, I think a great factor for us is that, I mean, not many Jamaicans have done this before. I mean, Jamaicans are
Yes,
known for the running, and they get lots of hype with the running. And Tommy and I have completely changed the game. We're doing something completely different that
yes.
nobody's
Out of
done
the box.
before.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy and I didn't even think we could have done this last year. It's something
Mm,
super different, and it's bound to draw a lot of attention. I mean, this year we finished third, and it was couldn't even. It was mind blowing what happened. And I mean, next year we expect much better results than just a third. We expect to be getting thirds every month or getting more than thirds. So we can't imagine the attention we'll get from that, and hopefully bring on a lot more sponsors.
Well, they always say the gift will make way for you, and the doors will be opening accordingly. Let's
you.
let's look at let's look at the reggae racers. The sponsorship proposal there. And it says Tommi, Gore, and Senna, some of our prodigies of their fathers and grandfathers, joined forces in 2024 to participate in the ADAC GT4 Germany. And there we are. And if I go to the next one,
that slide is just background of how we became teammates essentially. I mean, Senna and I were racing against each other from, I think probably we're 8 or 9, and we've been friends since then. But our dads have been racing from before we were born against each other, so it's a big rivalry. Turned, I think, probably the strongest partnership out of Jamaica and the Caribbean to go international. If you continue, we give more of what happened in 2024. I mean, we had a rough start to the year, but for us to go and convert that back into a podium at the end of the year, I think is outstanding. And it is just a testament to the hard work that both of us put in this year, and that's more to come, With the ADAC, the championship itself is huge because we follow DTM, which is easily the largest DTM championship it is the largest touring car championship in the world, with over 450,000 people at the tracks spread out over the year, and 9.4 million viewers over all their networks, streaming networks, and social media. So it's incredible, the program that ADAC has put on and what they have in store for 2025 and beyond is very, very impressive.
And
this year, our schedule, our
Yeah,
schedule for next year is quite packed. 6 rounds of racing, and all throughout Germany at some iconic tracks such as like Nürburgring and Hockenheim Ring and Red Bull Ring, which are all past F1 tracks. I mean, those are truly, when we go there and your eyes are just looking wide and you're like, wow, and couldn't even believe we're here. This is where Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel, Max Verstappen, all these guys have been racing all these years. So it's
and
really, really, really incredible.
Can I just ask a question, and Senna, what's the sort of, and Dad, you can jump into this as well, April the 25th, July, August, September, October, in between those times, what are you guys doing?
I'm still racing.
Work, racing, practicing.
Just a fun fact, Tommi and I actually put this proposal together we've been working on it for last year. So, I mean, racing is something that when we race, it's just on the surface what you see, but there's a lot of behind the scenes that Tommi and I work on constantly. We're communicating with sponsors, staying fit, mentally focusing all the time. I mean, racing is something where if your head is not in it, you're not going to be good on a track. Mental coach is one of our sponsors, actually says, Mr. Christopher Issa, who is sponsors at SOTEL, he's considered a mental coach. He makes sure we're always thinking, eating, sleeping, racing. So that's important.
Considered, we pay Chris very well. So let's so we're living racing. I mean, when you go to the gym in the mornings, one of the coach that I have is all the exercise we're doing is for racing, pressing on the brakes as hard as you can, exercises surrounding that. And the next thing is a simulator that Tommi and I drive on quite often. I mean, the Jamaica sim racing has also been a big part of helping us grow as drivers through sim racing, and that's a big platform coming up. So we're action packed. Our day is action packed. Every day when you're on the road driving, you're thinking about just racing.
When next can you get on the track? That's what our weeks revolve on.
Which is what needs to be. I mean, if you're not focused and you don't love what you're doing, you know, Silborn, if you don't love what you're doing, it's not going to pay off. And I think right now they're living the dream, and it's just the start of great things to come.
I saw some pictures in Jamaica recently. There was some fast cars, or so. You guys weren't in them. Some cars driving hard.
One of the things that I love, and I tell people a lot, as a youngster growing up, I used to be one of those kids that I would drive like an absolute lunatic on the road. I mean,
from Kingston to OG.
When you think back, oh Lord have mercy, man. I have probably some of the records. Kingston to Moby in under an hour and all kind of foolishness. But what has happened is that
Before even motorway set up.
yes. So what has happened now is that you're able to tell people, get your kids involved in some sort of motorsport, put them in karting, because
Yeah,
it does a lot. It gets them out of the trouble. They don't have to think about the ganja smoking and the liquor drinking.
yes.
That's not their focus in life. Their focus now is to fix up their car and be the best that they can be. And
Mm,
it also creates a great friendship amongst, and as David rightly said, right? Families come to these events, a lot of families.
yes.
So it brings an awareness that we don't have to in a lot of other sports. You see things happening in other sports that is just all good. And that's why
Mm,
I pushed Tommy from the beginning to be a part of this great family called motorsports here in Jamaica.
yes.
And I think that it has grown wonders for us.
And can I
May I
just
make a
ask?
comment
Sorry,
to the
please
point? Sorry.
go ahead, Rosemary. Go ahead, Rosemary.
I think Doug brought up a very important point. And so in looking at what Tommy and Senna has been doing for the sport, what their for the fathers and all the others before have done, is to try to motivate the powers that be in Jamaica to take this a
Mm,
little bit further, because there are other young people and children in Jamaica who'd love to, live the dream of a Tommy, Gore and a Senna Summerbell, but
yes.
there are a lot of things standing in the way. And I think structurally, our Ministry of Sports, I have been advocating
Yeah.
that. Even I spoke to a mom who was here watching one of the shows, well, the last race, and her son is involved in kart racing. And we
Yes.
were talking about when you're bringing down, for example, a helmet or gear for this sport, the tax that's charged, because or the duties that are charged, it makes it totally not affordable. So I think the whole perspective on this and looking at motor sports as a
Mm,
sport.
That's right.
So it's not
yeah.
just track and field. It's not, what I'm
Yes.
saying, to really encompass it. So it's fair, so that there is support for even those people who would like to start or be supported to continuing this. And I think we have to kind of change up our mentality, and the talent that exists in Jamaica needs to just be brought out,
For
so
sure.
that's
Doug,
what Tommy
yeah,
Absolutely.
Senna and the families are doing
yeah,
to bring attention to this sport. Yes, we can, you
yes.
know. So and look where the gaps need to be filled, where we can enable others to do this too.
Yeah. Doug and David, what's the developments like in Jamaica regarding for other persons? Is Tommy and Senna, so with yourselves, opening the doors so others can step into it as well?
Well, we've always been advocating to try and get them into karting. Karting is
Yes.
reasonable. It's
Yes.
Mm,
not one of those crazy expensive things. Once you get started and the child now gets to be known, and a lot of this motorsports. I mean, let us be honest, especially in Jamaica,
Very
it's
expensive.
who
mm,
knows who, and
Mhm.
if they went around and asked auntie, uncle, brother, sister,
yeah.
friend, and say, hey, my son is getting into this, and I'm going to start making him do some karting. Can you help me with a little money to buy some tires? Just simple stuff like that. And that's
Mm,
how I did it. And my father came to me and said, are you joking? Why do you want to go into motorsports? I did it. It's very expensive. I know it's expensive. Why are you going to carry this on? And I said,
yeah.
but Dad, I love it so much
I love
because
it.
all my
Yes.
life I've been watching you race,
Mm,
watching my family talk about it, watching my uncles and so on race. Dad, this is what I want to do. And he says, well, I don't know how you're going to do it. And I said,
mm,
well, Dad, suppose I bought a car and got sponsors to go and pay me. And he says, well, I don't know how you're going to do that.
yeah.
And it was just like Kenny is on with Sharon Williams, and he's been backing me for 30 years. And I can tell you that I went down to Sharon Williams one day and I said, I want to paint my car. Would you give me a little paint? And they're like, well, who are you? And I says, well, I'm Doug Gore and I'm going to be trying out in a race car. But I just want a little paint. It's not going to cost anything to go around here and just give me some color
Mm,
for paint to paint the car. And I said, well, all right, okay. And they gave it to me. And guess what? That just blossomed into more things because anytime I was in a newspaper or anytime I was on TV, radio, I would now mention it to them.
And the
And I would say,
sponsors.
hey, I was on TV last night, and
yes.
I will always bring it to their attention. And they're like, wow. So what happened is that next year now come, and I would now go and ask them, hey, I know you gave me some paint, but boy, this motorsports thing is expensive. Would you buy me some tires or some gas? And that's how it goes. And that's why I keep trying to explain to people. Just keep asking. If you ask 10
Yeah.
people, two will more than likely say
Yes.
yes. And
Yes.
I can tell you, the guys don't know, but just today I was on the golf course. I got a phone call, and it's something that I had sent out last week. And he said to me, hey, Doug, I'm just letting you know that we are going to give you guys something next year
Yes.
for Tommy and Senna. And I'm like, boy, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And it's that sort of thing that is just going to continue. The more that you ask, the better off everybody is, and that is why I really love that you're promoting this,
Yes.
showing the sponsorship proposals out there, explaining to everybody that, yeah, this is not a cheap sport, but if
Mm.
everybody helps the
Chip in. Yeah.
brand Jamaica, yeah, man, if
Yeah.
That's
everybody
right.
helps brand
From
Jamaica,
the
they
diaspora,
will also sit
as you
there,
asked earlier.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
if they can now be proud, and they can
Yes.
hold up their chest high and say, hey, I am helping Tommy and Senna with the Jamaican flag, go out there and do their thing, and it's very important for Jamaica to be seen, and I think that's exactly what they're doing.
David, you're coming in and saying something, eh?
Yes, and you'd asked about what the
Thanks.
diaspora would do, and that certainly, we would accept any, we're looking for any help and support in that fashion. So for sure, anyone wanting to get on the car
Mm.
should reach out to us. We would love to
Yes.
hear from them and partner. It's a team effort, as I say. When you see S Hotel and Sandals on the same car, it's they're looking out for Jamaicans. It's a Jamaican effort,
Yes.
and they put everything ahead and make it. It's not one against the other. It's a full Jamaican effort. Back on what you said about getting in karting, for sure.
Mm.
Motor racing and karting, awesome. Life lessons, just like everything in life, more so karting than most things. The more effort you put in, the better results you get. That's why the kids in karting, you see them do well at school, because
Yeah.
they learn. And then you learn as you learn so many other things. You learn how to deal with good drivers, bad drivers, just in life.
Yes.
It's so there's so many positives. But as Doug said, the sponsorship side of it is so important. These kids
Yes.
they're working hard, as you can see all of
Mm.
these sponsorship packages that they've put
Yes.
out. So it all has to come together. It's a big job, but they're doing amazing, and very proud of them.
And ladies and gentlemen, what you see running across is the numbers. Tommy Gore, the email, Gmail, and Senna with their numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Senna Summerbell, Gmail, Gore Summerbell Racing at gmail.com. And if we just look at the further of the marketing and more, talk about maximizing. Let me just bring this back up here. Uh,
And again, it comes
yeah.
back to the same thing. You don't have to be a big time sponsor that you say, boy, yeah, I have a big business. If you
Mm.
want to go and see these two Jamaicans, and you want to now go and put even your name on the car, listen, you want to buy some
Yeah.
tires? We'll put your name on the car.
What about
Yeah.
one of the nuts? What about one of the nuts? Can you put your name
So,
on?
still born, I'm expecting a check.
So the coverage. I think Tommy, you're going
Tommy
through
spoke
this.
about it. Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, as it, we had gotten, so all these numbers are straight from the ADAC themselves,
Yes.
and they were very good with giving me the information that they have on hand from the DTM and from their media channels. As you
Mm.
can see, as I said, 6.8 million people watching this live on television throughout the year, which is, I think, incredible. I'd never comprehend that many people would be able to view what I'm doing in motorsport. It's
Yes.
insane numbers there, especially with their websites and their social media channels. Reach of 59 million people, print
Mm.
reaches, which is actual articles that are being in the newspaper and magazines being sent out
Mhm.
for 270 million people, which is
Yes.
incomprehensible for a lot of people. I mean, they have over 100,000 followers across the three platforms. So It's really, really, really incredible. And then you couple that with a crowd that they actually have present there at the race meets. We have these autograph sessions every Sunday, and you're interacting with the fans, telling them, "Hey, come
Yeah.
to Jamaica," giving them our autograph cards with the QR code on it to scan and book at S Hotel or look at the Visit Jamaica website. And it's truly incredible the reach that we have and the possibilities that we have to promote people's brands on such a high level.
And of course, you got a lot of young people as well who are fascinated by you guys. You see the pictures of you signing their autographs as well.
Yes, yeah. If you
And Tommy,
go,
how many times have you guys been on the radio, TV, and
yeah, so
I think you
if
had
you go down
publicized it.
one more, we've been featured on different media channels outside of our own over 120 times this year, and I think I might have missed one or two when we were looking through the news articles, but I think definitely over 120 times this year, and it's truly incredible the reach that we've had. I think when you average that out, that's 10 articles per month, and that's truly incredible. You're looking at some
And of
serious
course, this is what
coverage.
sponsors want to see, right? They
Yeah,
Yeah,
want you
yeah.
want to be able to show them this and say, "Hey, we're getting your name out there. We're just not asking you for
yeah,
a check. We're
And
we're
this is
making
going to be
sure
exactly.
that
more.
you're seen."
That's even
Yes,
more
absolutely.
important. It's going to be more. So
And
this is what the first year, this is what they have achieved. Look about what it's going to be, especially with the great improvement or the great performance, the high that the year ended on. So they're at a pivotal position to bring in the sponsors and the sponsorships. And so we have to push hard for that.
Yes,
and,
I'm
We have a
having.
media event that's coming up in a couple of weeks at S
The
Hotel
14th of
Kingston, and I can
December.
tell you, I sent out by WhatsApp just asking everybody, would you make it? Would you like to come? I
wait,
honestly
is
do
that on
not
this list
think,
here? Yeah.
but I
No, it's
don't
not
think that
there
there
as
is
yet. It's on
one
the
Okay.
person that has come back to me and says, no, I will not make it. Every single media person that I've sent it to has come back to me and said, Doug, I'll be there. And I think
Yeah.
that's just a testament to what the brand that we're making right now is all about. The Gore Summerbell Racing. I think it's becoming a brand name, and
Yeah.
I'm really just looking forward to the journey.
And I tell you that the discussion on this show like gonna be a part one and part two. We're going some other topics here, but
Thank you.
I just decided not to do another segment of the show, just to conclude the show with yourselves only, so somebody can actually watch it and just see it completely.
Okay.
Tonight
Exactly.
will just be yourselves only as well, which I believe is very important. The sponsorship proposals here, becoming a part of this journey. Tommy or Senna, you want to talk about this bit here? Yeah.
Well, we have different packages, right? So this is
Yeah.
the brand to be, as we call it, and like it's quite a big. It would be a big one of the biggest sponsorships we could get.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much we'll include you in everything we do, or interviews. You'll have quite a big logo on the car, and
Yeah.
you'll be or like our number one priority, right? A title sponsor. So you're with us through everything, and yeah, that's what this slide is about.
Your name, your brand goes hand in hand with the Gore and Summerbell brand, essentially.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Available, and you got the tree, the Rising Star main
Yeah.
sponsor.
So yeah, again, our main sponsors are still completely associated. All of our sponsors are still completely associated with our brands, being on the car, being on our suits. But with each level that you go through, you get more involvement, you get more so-called media opportunities included, you get more use of our content. So that's the whole point of the different levels of sponsorship. I mean, we think we have a really good value that we can add to any company, giving them the exposure. As you see, 120 articles is not something that you can easily come by and keep each one of them unique and interesting, right? So for
Yeah.
a company to have that opportunity to be featured in 120 articles on top of their regular social media campaign is
Yeah.
truly a great opportunity, I believe. And again, with all our sponsors this year, we've sent out some of our proposals. We had Kenny here on the live stream, and everybody has been happy so far. And we really hope that we can continue with them and with some new brands on board for next year to keep going bigger and better for more opportunities for both ourselves and their brands
Yeah.
to really large crowds.
So I can see S Hotels, Q8 Oils, Main, Visit Jamaica, Sandals, Front Fender, Affiliate Bell Safe,
Yes, yeah.
Marita, Sherwin Williams as
And
well.
Mobe Freight.
And mobile freight services, of
Love
course.
it.
Don't worry, Tommy. You and I will discuss that one later.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so the next steps is scheduled meeting, Zoom or team. What's up? Conference
Yeah,
calls.
I mean, the biggest thing for anybody that is interested in becoming involved with us is to give us a call, speak to us, and really get to know us. We get to know you. It's not just to say put your sticker on the car and send us a check at the end of every race meet. You know, it's
Yeah.
really to build a long-lasting relationship. I mean, Uncle David had I think a contract for about 10 years with Total Energies, and my dad had a large contract with ATL and Sherwin Williams and Amsoil. I mean, these guys have been involved, and all of our sponsors you see stick on for years and years on end. So that is our goal, and is to build lasting business relationships and how it can benefit your business.
Sherwin Williams gave us the confidence this year. We sent out the proposal on day one. They said they're in for sure. Can you meet us at the office next week and do a launch? And Tom and I were like, whoa, this is the best possible start.
That's
so
great.
shout out to them. They probably have the credit for getting us going, and without them, we probably wouldn't have had the confidence to keep pushing and reaching out to everybody and making it this whole year. So big shout out to them for sure.
Doug, sure. When you say you wanted to paint, was it Sherwin Williams at the time?
That's right. Yeah, that's all I asked him for at the start.
That was the seed. That was the seed over the years. Isn't it?
It's very
You know, I have a story. I have a
Yeah.
story. Once,
Yeah,
of
sorry,
course, the sponsorship was getting really sweet and nice, and you're getting a big check along with everything else that came with it. And I sat down in the conference room at Sherwin Williams, and
Yes.
while the discussion was going on, they were talking amongst themselves, and I'm sitting there, and they said, "Boy, we'd really like to go and do some billboards." And I'm like, "Oh, billboards, boy, Hollywood in lights." so I'm sitting there going, "Huh." So of course, as I said, I'm listening to them, and they're like, "Well, really and truly, we can't afford the billboards." And I said, "Hold on a second. When you said billboards and you can't afford it," and he says, "Well, with the package that we're getting," I said, "Take out some money out of my sponsorship and put me on billboards." So they all looked over at me and I went, what are you talking about? I said, "Don't give me all the money. Take some of the money and put it on the billboards." And they were like, "Huh? What do you mean?" I said, "Exactly what I mean."
That's
And
exactly.
they all looked at each other and said, "Well, if Doug is going to ante up some of his money towards the billboards, then let's do it."
Then we
And I had like 5 billboards all over the country. But guess what? Everybody was saying, "Why did Doug want to do that?" Because I needed Doug Hollywood Gore to be our brand name. And therefore, it would just grow with sponsorship, right? Because again, it comes back to the same thing. If you can go there and say, "Hey, would you sponsor Doug Gore?" Yeah, man, me see that guy don't have a view on big billboard and him stand up beside race car like so. And his slogan was "fastest in a finish," right? It was great.
Can you read what somebody wrote? Can you read what somebody wrote?
No.
Doug, can you read what somebody wrote?
Thank you, Kenny.
Mike?
Thank God. You see, Kenny, know that where you are and where you were in Sherwin Williams and where you are today, you have me to thank. I don't understand you.
That is too funny.
Listen, guys, on that note, it was really a pleasure and an honor having you guys here tonight, and I consider it's a part of Jamaican history at the same time. What is happening here? Because when I used to go to York Castle High School, we only about Dover, Grace and the Chin and these, and the Chin, and the Chin and those guys.
Yes, that's right.
And those guys there, years ago. So remember those fast guys used to come in from Ocherius as well, going to that. So that was always like a little big thing up there, Dover, and the guys from Kingston come down to Ochi, because you guys always.
And of course, the East versus West rivalry, that was always gone on here at Dover. And of course, that's why the Doug, as they call it, the Doug and David show lasted for so long. And that is one of the reasons why joining forces with Tommi and Senna have been just an absolute godsend. And as I said, talk and sip, you're part of the journey from here on in.
Yes, definitely. Even
100%.
Even if it's a nut.
Thank you. wicked.
We know
but
that's where it starts. That's where it starts. We
Yes,
get
yes.
to love and go.
Well, actually, I just saw the front of the car, the Silver and Show. You know what I mean? Right in front of the car.
That'd be
wicked.
perfect.
I love it. I love
visualized it a while ago.
it.
Only 30,000 for you.
Only, yes.
Anything
Don't
is
worry,
fun.
Rose is our manager, and she's going to be in touch after this conversation.
But I
want to
must say you
go
guys have a very sharp and shrewd marketing team, though.
We do.
For
The
sure.
best.
And we're blessed.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
It's
Okay,
amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yes. Well, anyway,
Before
please.
we forget,
Please,
I want
Rosemary,
to say a big thank you to you, who you are always very open when approached, and especially doing the show like you did it tonight, because we really wanted it with the sponsorship. It saves us even doing the presentations over and over. So we can
that's fantastic.
just like
One of the
tailor
best
it
we have
like
done
this
for
and
sure.
be able to send it out.
Yes.
And share all over, because that was one of the main things to make
Yes.
sure. Thank you so much tonight, and getting so
Yes.
close to the family and to
Yes.
the boys, because I find that to be very important. And probable sponsors want to see that. They wanna hear that. They want to hear the stories, and they
Yes.
want to see the boys. They want to see the family. They want to hear them in conversation. Sometimes you can't always be able to do that and bring that across when you're doing a presentation about sponsorship. So I think it's wonderful, and I thank you guys all. I think everybody who will go ahead now and watch this,
100%.
when it's shared,
Yes.
there's a real feeling of the heart that's in this project and this brand and this journey. And I think that's very important, to be committed.
And you guys know you got a super fan. You know that. You know you got a super fan.
Aye.
Oh, they have
100%.
110.
From the beginning.
With that we know.
Yes.
A super fan. There's a picture of your son, which I didn't get it up there. You know, as well. Well, listen. Any last words, guys? Any last go around? Any last words from Doug?
This is what I would really and truly love if one of these events that you look on the calendar. I would
Yes.
love if you would be part of the crew. We would have a pit pass. We would bring you right there, front and center,
Yes.
smelling the race fuel. And when the cars burn out to leave, I would like you
Yes.
to stand right beside David and I, watching all of this together. So
Fantastic.
please look on it. And
Yes.
again, we would like you to be part of the family. So
Thank you so much.
just come
I
on
do
over.
appreciate it.
Germany
Yes.
is only a stop.
Just
a
around the
little
corner, yeah.
stopover. Yeah,
Yes.
just around the corner. And
Not like
we'd love to
us,
have you
we're
there.
flying 10 hours, so
Yeah.
we're right there.
Yes.
Hours, isn't it? Isn't it, Rosemary?
It's a long flight.
Yeah. Any last word, David?
No, my sentiments exactly. Would love to have you there. I think if we could
Yes.
do that, it would make a big difference. And you'll get to be with Rose, and Rose will turn that lug nut into an entire side of the car. So
Yes.
thank you so much. Thanks for having us. Honestly, it was
It is
awesome.
mine. And Tommy?
Likewise, I'd love to have you there, and thank you very much for having us on. We hope to be on a couple more times next year and keep you guys engaged in what we're doing.
Yes. Let's keep it. And Senna. Yes.
Thank you. Like everyone said, thank you so much, and we'll see you next year. And you were with us from the start. We were with Audie, and you still took the time to interview us. So
Yes.
we were very grateful for that interview, and now we're still grateful to have you. So thank
Yeah.
you, and we'll
Yeah.
see each other soon.
Thank you. Now, I'm always asking how the guys are, and Rosemary, of course, keep me abreast as well as much as possible. And I love the colors.
100%.
And if I just finish off by just showing the different images there you guys are, you know, and that's you, David, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kicked me out of that picture.
There you go. I'm sneaking back in.
That's all.
Yes.
Senna's grandma.
That's
Come on,
okay.
guys,
Fantastic.
She's
Sonia.
standing here behind us, wanting to join the interview.
Sonia is behind you.
Bring her
Yeah.
in. Bring her in.
There you
Sonia.
are. And
Oh,
there
it's a whole. Hi,
No.
Sonia.
All right.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Hello. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Pleasure is mine.
If you think we were a little nervous, you know why now, right?
kept correcting us while we were speaking. Like,
Yeah.
You get a slap in the head.
Keep,
Stop it!
keeping you in line. Keeping you in line.
I think I heard her when we were saying, "Are they Jamaican?"
Yeah,
I think I heard your voice.
I get very passionate about that.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Born and grow. And my parents
course.
and grandparents and great grandparents, and I
Yes.
don't even know how far back.
I'm on Barnia. You know, I
I
not leave
like,
you.
There you
That's
go.
what, that's
yes,
what.
Very cool, very cool.
definitely.
Exactly.
Very
Famous
proud.
Pluto's words right here.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
no.
yes, yes.
It's
Well,
good
thank you
to
so
see
much.
and see you all, and God's blessings to you. Rose,
Yes,
love you.
Yes,
Sister
love you,
body.
sweetheart. Love you. Still
and
more this family bring. I only get goodies. Jamaican.
goodies.
Let me tell you, it's so nice to go to races, not only for the
Yeah,
races, but also for the goodies.
Of
yeah.
And
course.
some yummy bun and cheese.
Yes.
And we
Cookies.
bring,
Guava
we
jelly and
bring
everything.
publicity
Well,
and
definitely when I come back to Jamaica, we'll definitely have to link up as well.
For
You
Yes.
know.
All
sure.
right, lovely
peace.
stuff.
Thank
Yeah.
100%.
you.
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Well,
Bye.
thank you
Bye.
very
Bless
much.
you
Bye.
And
all.
have
Thank
have a
you.
good
Take
night.
care.
Thank
Yes.
you.
All right.
Bye
Yeah,
bye.
man. Thank you
Bye.
again for having us.
Bye.
Take
Cool.
care. Cheers.
Care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. I said I was going to do another segment after talking about reactions to the what should I say, the elections. But I believe it's very important to just conclude the show now, because I think it is very important for the show to be in one package as well, so it's not deviated to any other thing as well. Um, we were supposed to be on for 30 minutes, but of course, um, the essence of the show and the essence of the messaging was really important. As they say, Jamaica is out of many one people. So the person who actually wrote on my TikTok page, I said, them are Jamaican. They're original and authentic Jamaican as well. If you understand, when I going to school, there were different races in the classes that I went to in York Castle High School and all over Jamaica. So we got to recognize as much as possible that we are we're more than a brand. At the same time, we're original Jamaicans, live and direct. So I want to thank everyone for joining, and thanks for the young gentleman. The numbers are running across the screen there for if anyone want to reach all of them. Tommy is +1 876 837 7600. Tommy Gore, and of course you can watch it back on the replay. You can see all the information. One place I didn't go to, actually, I didn't go on to Instagram. Okay, Instagram as well. There the information which is there. TikTok, you can watch it over. Go by going on the replay, and of course on Facebook, which is there. And yeah, we big up Jamaicans as much as possible, and have a good night, and may God bless you. Peace out.